Okay, we might as well just say halfway through this year. And I think we just found the worst movie, not only of 2026, but possibly the worst film that's based on a video game. Oh, God. So, Kevin Forte, Deadhand Cav here, and since we both watched this shite, my brother Matthew decided to join with this. And what is this shite? Well, wearing the shirt, but it's not the first Silent Hill film, even though I'm not the biggest fan of that one either, or even that shitty sequel. No, this film is so fucking bad. It makes the first film look like Ghostbusters, and it makes the shitty film look like Ghostbusters 2. I'm talking about Return to Silent Hill. I did not enjoy the silence. This film came out January 23rd, 2026, and this was talked about for a while. Christoph Gans returns to do this movie. I didn't even think he really did such a good job with the first film, except for the visuals and the music and the atmosphere, but story-wise and character-wise, no. I don't hate the first film, but I'm not a fan of it either. Second film, Christoph Gans did not return, or James Avery, who, oh my god. So,
no, it wasn't
Roger Avery.
Roger.
So, Silent Hill Revelations comes out next, the second film, which Christoph Gans does not return to direct, or Roger Avery returns to write. I don't remember who directed or wrote it. Pretty much, I don't give a shit. It sucked.
I can't remember the director's name, but Silent Hill 2 is Revelations. Yeah, it's not a great movie to be charitable.
More charitable than this one. Okay, so what makes this one insulting is that the first movie is supposed to be set based loosely on the first game, because there's no Harry Mason, no Cheryl. Is switched around to Rose Da Silva, and the daughter's name was Sharon, and the only thing I had to comment as parent looking for daughter. Either that, a lot of things that was changed. Wasn't a big fan of. The second film is supposed to be based more on the third game. So the thing is, video game movies tend to do this a lot. The first Mortal Kombat film, is supposed to be based on the first game. It skips the second game and goes to the third game. The first Resident Evil movie is basically based on a script Paul W. Anderson wrote named Undead, which we'll get to that soon. So in other words, he skipped part 1 and 2, went straight to part 3 with Apocalypse, the second movie. So this one also skips the second game, but we did get the second game. Let's be honest, no, we didn't. Return to Silent Hill is not. So when I remember first seeing the images of James, I was like, wait a minute. Where's the Jacob's Ladder jacket? Where's the short hair? Okay, we'll give him longer hair, fine, but the hair color. This guy looks like he's a rock and roll singer. he got a 5 o'clock shadow with long hair. He's wearing rocker jewelry, leather jacket, a vest. Fuck is this guy? Oh, he even gets even worse with everything else. This is just a starter. Every character in this movie is just a caricature. Caricature, thank you. Like, you watch it, like, not only they don't even look like them, they don't act like them. Not one bit. No surprise, the film bomb. Also, we didn't watch it in theaters. We're not spending all good money on this. Not even for us for free. You couldn't even give this film away. So it aired on Screenbox about I think it was the 10th of June, something like that. Whatever, it was that week. Oh boy. So let's get on to things with this film, because right now I'm trying to make this film shut up from my memory. So the film opens up with James. He's fast driving a car, smoking weed, Where was this in the video game?
Maybe it's some deleted scene that we don't know about.
Was this in the 2001 game or the 2024 remake?
I don't know. Has no business being in there.
No, because James was not a weed smoker and driving fast cars. Listen to that. No. So he hits a woman's suitcase because he was speaking. He almost hit a truck. This turns out to be Mary. You know, Mary was gonna go on his bus, but she decides, oh, never mind. And then her and James hook up to Silent Hill. I don't think that's where she was supposed to go. I said, whatever. Then we get to later on, James is inside a bar all drunken and shit. He accidentally knocks down the waitress's bottles. Security guards start coming in. A fight happens. They throw James where this movie belongs, the back alley of a garbage. So, and then he gets a, I don't, after three, I don't give a shit. Yeah, it's like he has a psychiatrist in this film. A psychiatrist who I don't even remember the character's name. I don't care. You're not a Silent Hill character. I don't care. I'm just gonna call you for who you are. Psychiatrist. Where was this a Silent Hill 2?
I don't know. I
don't know. No, he doesn't have a psychiatrist. So he gets home, he sees a letter, but it's from Mary, who was supposed to be dead. Oh, spoiler alert, Mary and him are not husband and wife. They're boyfriend and girlfriend. So, here's the funny thing though. He's still drunk. He's driving in the rain to go to Silent Hill. Huh? But for some reason, there's a gate there. He can't enter, and finally does enter. And then he's there. He runs into Angela, the senator, who's trying to cover up water flowing. Oh, by the way, everybody in this film has a bad fucking wig. You can just obviously tell that they went to some cheap store and bought wigs. Like, I've seen this film cost $23 million. It's the second least Silent Hill that has that much money. The least is still the part 2, which was $20 million. But I've seen fan films that probably cost like 50 grand or $50. Had better hair wigs than this shit.
Yeah, the wigs are terrible. Absolutely terrible.
Terrible. So, of course, you know in the video game when you meet Angela, she is in the cemetery, and she's guilt-ridden because this whole thing with her father, her brother. In this one, she just says, "I'll barricade the stuff so water don't flow. Don't go to Silent Hill, whatever." So, James in this nice rock and roll outfit does go to Silent Hill. He goes to the dead city, and the CGI background is bad. There's some scenes that looks like a VR is more real than this. You know those Quest things you put on? That looks better than this. Like, once again, I see fan films with better backgrounds. And then, like, he sees a homeless guy there, and the homeless guy's acting up. But for some reason, the homeless guy looks like that dude from Hellraiser 1 and 2 who says, "What's your pleasure, sir?" Because he even has the maggot bugs on him. So there's this radio there that starts making that sound, And then we see one of those creatures that look like this. They had a name. What was the name of it?
Yeah, I don't remember.
And then it attacks the homeless man, melting him. And then, like, the whole Silent Hill starts to change all over and over to the Dark World Silent Hill, and you see these bad CGI bugs and everything else. Like, what the? Yeesh. Okay, so, geez, I'm trying to remember. I always saw this film once, and once is enough. I think he goes to a hospital or something like that.
I think, yeah, because in the remake, I think both games he goes to the hospital, but I think the hospital has a little bit more focus in the remake.
Yeah. So before that, let me just get to a scene. So as you know, the bar that's inside Silent Hill, you know, when you and Mary, what's her name?
Maria?
Maria go inside. No, that's not there. We just get a flashback of him and Mary meeting up with these people, looking at these paintings and stuff. Like, who are these people? What does this have to do with Silent Hill? Who are you? I know I can't take a break right now. Yeah, but seriously, what is this? What is this? This past life of we're seeing of James and Mary that was never in the game. Who are these people? Oh, don't worry, we'll get to that. So I think when he's in the hospital, he runs into Laura, the girl's name.
I think he runs into her.
Yeah, like I said, you know, I don't care how bad this order is. I hate this fucking movie. But Laura is nothing like the Laura in the game. In the game, it seems like in this one. No, wait, no. I am going a little ahead because I remember he meets Eddie before he meets Laura. And oh my God, what are they doing with Eddie? Oh
yes.
My God.
He is nothing like the Eddie inside the game. Looks nothing like him. Acts nothing like him. And he's only in the movie for one scene.
One scene.
One scene. That's it.
They wasted this character. Like, you know what? We're gonna do our best to put this thing in the short version, whatever it is. Because, like I said, I'm not gonna discuss this whole film like this.
Yeah, this movie's not worth going a full recap.
It's not a full recap. So let's just get into how they do these characters. Okay, let's just skip to Eddie. So he meets Eddie, like you know, the video game meets Eddie. Eddie's thrown up in the toilet, but Eddie in this film, nothing. Eddie in the game is supposed to have this childlike look to him. He wears a baseball cap. He's wearing this striped shirt, shorts. You know, he's a guy who is, I remember he was teasing the game, right?
Yeah, he was bullied.
He was bullied to the point that he just whipped out to murder. Oh no! This one looks like Harry Knowles. Sorry. He's wearing a white shirt. He has facial hair all over him, long hair. He looks like a bum. This has nothing, he doesn't even act like him. So, spoiler alert, he's not a murderer. Then they meet Laura, who's inside this hole. In the game, Laura does not see. Oh yeah, spoiler alert. If you haven't played the game, which is about time you should. This game did come out 25 years ago. So, in Silent Hill, this one, it brings in James, Angela, and Eddie for their sins. Laura is of innocence. She doesn't see any of the monsters here. This one, oh, she sees it all. She sees it all. And for some reason, they made her look like a ghost. Like, why? Oh, when this happens, you know, when they find her, Pyramid Head appears. And then Eddie just knocks down James and says, "Look what you done, James. Woke him up." And then he's gone. You don't see him again. Oh, then we see a Pyramid Head, and for some reason it looks like a flash of face of James. No way, I forgot. That's supposed to say he meets him in the room when the Pyramid Head is beating up on one of that spider booty thingy.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't care how I do this. How bad this movie is. Oh god. Oh god. Oh, let's go talk about those people I mentioned earlier before we get to Maria. I just want to get this shit out of the way. This is why this happened. So remember the cults in the first Silent Hill movie, and that's the games also. Now there's a cult in this one too. We learned that Mary's father is the head of this cult, and he poisons his own daughter with the stuff that lets blood come out, and it all touch it and trap. And guess who finds us out? James. He just does nothing. He just does things. He's like, no. Dude, you seeing your girlfriend go through all this. You don't get the police or anything. He just lets it happen. And because of this, this is one of the reasons why he's guilty, because he left her. He said to her, "You gotta leave this cult. You gotta leave this." And she said, "Nope." He's like, "Okay, bye." Blame the man. Yeah. So now let's go talk about Maria, who he finds in the fog, and the wig on this woman. Shit. Did they get this from a Gemini Holograms Halloween costume thingy? Just pull the wig out and just use it? No, Jim has bigger hair. But she acts nothing like. And here's the thing. In the game, he mentions like, "Wow, you look so much like my wife." This one, no, they do a reason. They don't explain that now. That comes in later. So yeah, and then like they go on this thing to look for Mary, blah blah blah, and then we get the nurses that for some reason have made out of like porcelain.
Yeah, like porcelain.
Like they break so easily.
And it wasn't like that in the game.
Wasn't like that in the game. Maria gets stabbed by one of them. He takes her into a room where she's laying on some type of slab, and then I think she says, "Say it." Say what? I look like your girlfriend. Moving on. So, then he meets up with Laura again. Laura locks in his room, and then James sees like his wife in the bed thing, like the end of the game. But why so early? And the makeup, I don't know if his makeup was CGI, but it looked terrible.
Yeah.
So grabs James, goes inside his mouth, and then like all of a sudden, James wakes up in the hospital.
That wasn't the scene where he had that off-looking beard, right?
No, not yet. Not yet. That comes later. Remember, they had the bed thing twice. She's the monster thing in the bed. But now it seems like this is confusing now. So is he inside the hill, or is this his magic? Because now he's in a hospital, laid on the bed, talking to psychiatrist. Like, yeah, Mary died, blah, 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 it's over. So, like, he's still in the hospital, he's looking at the window. So, for some reason, he just imagined himself back at the Silent Hill, where we get the truth. And, so, he sees, Maria. Like nice and well, but he says, "Yeah, you're not real." And then he covers himself like this, and then Maria gets stabbed by the pyramid head right behind her. Because pyramid head is actually James. It gets even worse. So Angela comes in, right? He sees Angela. Oh yeah, but before that, they get the stupid scene. You know the scene in the game where she's holding a knife? The CGI eyes on that knife? Why? So, they put in the abstract daddy thing, but it makes no sense. I guess because her father was so abusive and stuff. But that, in the game, we're going to talk about the whole thing about the whole Angela. Just give me one minute. So the abstract day comes in, it takes Angela, and they come together. But then the whole thing, he sees Laura again. And Laura says, what's the full name? It seems like Mary had multiple names. Mary, Angela, and Laura. Crane, was it?
Yeah, I think it was Crane.
What the fuck? They were not. Yeah. Mary, Maria, Angela. Oh my god. No. No, in the game, Maria is supposed to be the woman he wanted Mary to be. All hot and stuff. That's why the nurses were sexy. That's why the whole thing in the video game, Pyramid Head was doing one of those mannequin things. No, Laura was just a girl, as I said earlier, of innocence, who's just in Silent Hill and knew Mary. Angela was her own character, a person who was sexually abused by her father and brother. But no, in this movie, they're all the same person. The whole father issue aspect that he was because, her father poisoned her. Did he sexually do anything to her?
I don't know if he abused her in that way inside this interpretation of the story.
So, now we get the other thing. So this was gonna be heavy spoilers if you played the video game. In the video game, we learned that through all the misery that James thinks that Mary put him through, he thought, let me put her out the misery and just he kills her. I think by strangulation or suffocation.
In the game?
Yeah.
I think he smothers her with a pillow, I think.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since I played the original.
Yeah, so he just smothers her with a pillow. So just to even he says like, I hate you for what you're doing to me. We learned that James is definitely not innocent, and that's why he's dragged to the side of the hill. Oh no. In this movie, from the poisoning that she's going through, she is dying. And the first thing I noticed that scene was that awful looking beard that was on James. That's the scene.
Yeah, that's the most fakest, phoniest looking beard I've ever seen in anything, and that's no exaggeration. How does a movie with a $23 million budget has, hair pieces and facial hair pieces this fake looking? I don't understand that.
I can't take the scene seriously. I just could. I was just looking at that ridiculous facial hair. So we learned in this one, Mary is going through so much pain that she begs James to finish her. And he does out of, a final wish. But for somebody who has to do that, and when he's crying, I said, okay, where's the tears? You just killed your wife, even though it was a misery kill. She asked for it, but you should be crying. Nothing. I mean, in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2003 remake, when the guy was on the hook, he knew he was finished, so he asked Aaron to take the knife and finish the job. Jessica Biel was actually crying as they say, "Forgive me, forgive me." And he's like, "Ah!" Oh, please don't fall off. Yeah, then we get to the scene. Once again appears the Mary is the bed creature, and like he's like saying like it's she hugs him. Yeah, she hugs him and says, "Mary forgives me." Why? Did she say finish the job? Oh, it's because he left. But he came back.
Yeah, he came back. So
with fake facial hair, that.
Yeah, so there's no reason to have any type of for him. There's nothing to forgive. He didn't kill her. At least he didn't kill her without her consent. He did leave, but he came back. Mm-hmm. And when he left, he did have some justification for doing so. So yeah, it's just a forced, contrived scene. You could have just stuck with the game, but you decided to create your own bullshit, and the whole scene is bullshit.
So the question is, after this, which of the 4 endings did they use? Wow, they decided to go with the water ending. So he takes Mary's body, puts her in the back of the car, he drives into the water, and wow, he commits suicide. They did no. It seems like this car acts like a DeLorean that works underwater because they went back in time to where he actually meets her and decides to, give her a ride. Because, like I said, they just go back to Silent Hill because that's where she was going to. Well, that's where she's from. She wanted to go away from Silent Hill, I guess, for the whole thing of the cult. But he'll now change and say, hey, I knocked your stuff down. Wherever you want to go, I'll take you. Oh, but here's what's so fucking stupid. They do not do good music placement. So, if you remember the scene in Silent Hill 2, where Angela is in this room full of fire, and it plays a sad version of music of Laura. It's like, Laura, Maria, whatever it's called in this song. It's a very sad music, see, because you're witnessing her, like she's just saying, I've always been here, and she burned herself. Why would you play sad music on a happy ending?
Yeah, it makes completely no sense. Yeah, the musical selections in this film for certain scenes, just I don't know, just doesn't make any sense tonally with how they were used in the game.
It, why? Why would you even do that? That makes no sense whatsoever. And like I said, it just ends with both of them driving movies done, thank God. This was not Silent Hill. This was not Silent Hill 2. And this is done by Christoph Gans, who did the first one. And he also part wrote this film as well. This film had like 3 writers, something like that.
Yeah, I can't remember the amount of writers in this.
Yeah, so no.
But didn't one of them write that god awful Crow remake?
And it's the same thing as the Crow remake. 2 people, you see their past, and then the shit happens, and at the end, water, go back in time, and still alive, except the difference is the Crow, and I don't give a shit about saying the end of that film, Eric doesn't come back. He's stuck in purgatory because he made a deal with that fake ass skull cowboy guy. This one, both of them come back from the water. Does this person who wrote this has a thing for bad romance in water? The person who the other writer, because I said there's 3 writers. So the one who did The Crow is named William Joseph Schneider. Keep this man away from famous IPs. He's not good, because what's the next thing he's going to do? He's going to do another story that's going to involve romance, bad romance in water. But mostly Christoph Gans should be ashamed of himself, because he talks about, he's this big Silent Hill fan and blah, 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 blah. I never said that for the first one either, since he changed the characters because he believed, a man should not be acting like that to find his daughter, so I replaced it with a mother.
Yeah, the whole thing with Christoph Gans with the first Silent Hill, which I always found incredibly annoying, was and I don't mind gender swaps. In this case, he did the gender swap for making Harry into, I don't remember her name in the
Rose
movie.
Rose
de Silva. Not because he thought that I would just think it's better, because I like Rhoda Mitchell, and I think she's better for the character, being the lead in the original Silent Hill film. No, it's like, the men in the game had feminine traits, said, that's not going to work for me. So I might as well make the characters female. And one of the reasons why I thought that the men exhibited feminine traits in the original Silent Hill game is because Harry was looking for his daughter. Like, a father looking for his daughter is a feminine thing to do. And I'm like, isn't that a parental thing to do? So I thought that was just such bullshit. Christoph Gans has been fucking up the Silent Hill franchise since the beginning. On its own, if you don't think about the original Silent Hill game, Silent Hill, the original movie is fine. It's a fine enough movie. But as adaptation, it's piss poor. But it is a masterpiece, the original Silent Hill film, compared to this abomination. And I don't use that word lightly, abomination, but this film is an abomination in numerous ways.
So, Christoph Gans, you ever heard of this 1985 action movie called Commando? Schwarzenegger's character, John Matrix, what was his mission? Looking for his daughter. This is Schwarzenegger here, prime Schwarzenegger. Oh, he wasn't manly enough?
What about Joel from Last of Us? Now,
Yes.
now Ellie is not his biological daughter, but she basically his daughter in every other way. So is Joel exhibiting feminine traits because he wants to go ahead and protect her and all that, and look for her when there's a point in the game where they become separated? But no, Joel loses consciousness, and anyway, but the point still stands. Just because a father wants to find his daughter or his son, whoever, there's nothing wrong with having feminine traits anyway. But it's just like, I don't know, Christoph Gans, I don't know, like visually, he used to be a great director, did, solid films like Brotherhood of the Wolf and such, but now he's just fallen really far as a filmmaker. And the way how he particularly messes up the ideology of Silent Hill 2 and the symbolism and the themes is just absolutely ridiculous.
Like, it's to a point that, at least what you can say about the first Silent Hill movie, at least it keeps certain traits. This has nothing This is a film that is bad from the first second to the final second. I haven't seen a film this bad since Joker Fully I Do, but at least the scene with Joker and Gary in the courtroom was something. This has nothing at all that I can say, they did that good. At least they did that good. No, everything was done terrible. Just bad. I definitely don't think anybody should watch this. This is not even bad as a Silent Hill movie. It's not just bad as being a film movie based on the best Silent Hill game, at least in my eyes. But if this was just a normal movie called Return to This Town, it still would have been one of the most biggest pieces of dog shit I've ever seen in my entire fucking life. But
yeah, like most movies, I've seen a lot of bad movies in my time, a lot of dreadful movies. A few movies ever made me like, I don't want to say physically ill, that's a little bit too strong, but just like some degree of physical distress. Like the first time I watched the movie and I felt some kind of physical distress, like in the pit of my stomach, was watching the original Alien vs. Predator. I remember reading the original comics and how epic that was, how violent that was, and bold that was, and then he had that piece of shit film, that watered down PG-13 sanitized nonsense. Yeah, it's not a totally worthless film, but subpar, really subpar compared to the comic book adaptation. And there was maybe a few other films that felt like that since then. But yeah, Return to Silent Hill is the most recent film that made me feel that way. I don't think I've ever felt more sickened watching a film ever than this. Silent Hill 2 is my favorite game on the PlayStation 2 that I've ever played on the PlayStation 2. And that experience is something that, I would say is sacred to me, the original Silent Hill 2. And that's considered by most to be one of the best games ever made, not just best Silent Hill game, but one of the best games, period. And the remake, which I had quite a bit of trepidation with when I heard the announcement, I'm like, I don't know, like I really was not feeling that idea. But when I actually played the remake, I was pleasantly surprised. I was glad I was wrong about it, like, not being worth remaking. It is an excellent game. Not been an original, but it's an excellent remake. And so they had a lot to live up to, the makers of this particular film, Return to Silent Hill. And they failed miserably with living up to reasonable expectations. I wasn't even looking for this adaptation to be a masterpiece. I wasn't even looking for it to be great. It would have been nice if it was great, like the games, but just be solid. Can we just get solid? Can we just get like 3 stars? This film doesn't even rate even 1 star. Like, it is just bad in every single way. It is a bad, abysmal adaptation. The worst adaptation I've seen of a source material since World War Z. And I do actually like World War Z, like on its own merits, not its adaptation, because it's awful as an adaptation. But this is even worse than World War Z. At least World War Z didn't feel like it was like spitting on like the book that originated from, like on its ideologies and stuff like that. This adaptation seems to go out of its way to just shit all over everything that Silent Hill 2, the game, is about. And to me, that is, as a film lover, it is unforgivable. As a Silent Hill film lover, it is unforgivable. Like, it seems like, I remember reading one review on Letterboxd recently about this film, and they say it almost feels like that Christoph Gans did, like what he did with adapting this was malicious, intentional. Right. And I can't disagree with that. It almost feels that way, like intentional sabotage to ruin this really beloved property. I just don't understand. I just don't understand. And on its own merits, it's just garbage. Like, it's just garbage. The only thing that maybe the acting isn't the worst thing ever. The acting is solid enough for the most part, but everything else about this film is just badly done. Totally looks like it was shot on green screen, at least in the scenes that was shot on green screen. Very jarring, very obvious, and I could go on and on, but just yeah.
Yeah, it's like they said in Home Alone 2. I could go on forever, baby. But no. Okay, so according to the numbers
.com,
this shite only grossed $33.4 million worldwide on a budget of $23 million, and we're not even including marketing. Ugh, how do you do worse than Silent Hill Revelation? I know how. Do a Silent Hill film that has nothing to do with Silent Hill.
And don't forget that a film has to make twice what it costs to recoup its budget back, because about half of that goes back to the exhibitors.
And this film didn't do that. Not at all. So I do not recommend this film at all. Crystal Guns, stay the fuck away from Silent Hill. Just stay away. I do not want to see The Room. We don't do a movie. You know, I'm not the biggest fan of that game, but you know, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay game.
Yeah, the room is good.
It's good. It has its merits, but you know, I prefer the other three. Listen, no, I don't even want you to do Silent Hill Downpour. Do nothing. Because so far we have had only 3 Silent Hill films. And let's just be honest, none of them were really successful at the box office. I mean, the first 2, at least they broke even. That's something. The first one has like a some type of cult following. That's something I can see why. But no, I will never watch this film again. I will never watch this film again. I'd rather watch Joker Fully Ado, Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, and Halloween Ends over and over again before I even watch this ever again. And right now, that's all we gotta say about this. I'm Kevin Forte, Deadhead Kev.
Matthew Forte, Matthew Forte.
And all I can say is, we did not enjoy the silence. Later.
Later.